Okay, and welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in Field of Glory Empires, in the Persia DLC, in the Sparta run, where we've been drawn off to go fight Rome, instead of probably fighting the people we should be fighting, which is Persia. But we'll make do. Persia can be annoying while at peace, but we'll just have to deal with that. Let's cycle a turn. And I suppose we're having manpower problems trying to rally a second army. That's maybe a indication I can't quite splurge the same way I want to do. Okay, we've been got by the Romans. Some of the Romans got us on the defense again. At least this is a hilled area. So we got a defender advantage from the terrain. We got a minimum roll of 6. They got a minimum roll of 2. We're going to be a little reliant on that minimum roll because we've got 1 roll. And we're actually technically up to before the roll is made, so this is going to be pretty roll dependent. Won that one, won that one, completely won that one, won that one. Okay, so we're going to win this battle, that's fine. Lost the Paradoki, which is fine. Lost a calf, but at least drove the Roman army home. Trying to link up with our elephants. So I can send the fleet out and then try to have our reinforcements arrive. Seek an alliance with us. I'm on board. Agreed. Oh wait, there's about to be an uprising here. We're just not going to do anything about it. Go link up with that general. The Spartan fleet in port apparently hasn't fully recovered yet. Here's the Roman fleet gone off to. I can't see. Presumably means it went back to port. Can you make it there in a turn? No. You're in port. We're going to do a move like that. That'll give a clear of the list if they end up in those before our guys go through, hopefully. You can get over there, so you move over there. Didn't I recruit? No, I decided not to because of the low manpower situation. That's fair. Okay, so we're going to get our 2 hoplites. Did I intend to recruit 2 hoplites? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. Skirmishers are fine. Okay, nothing to worry about. We got a warning there's going to be a revolt specifically here. It's not really anything we can do about it. Probably the best way to deal with it is to crush it when it happens. This is a place that's walled, so upgrading the wall makes a lot of sense. Got a well there. That's under construction. Public works makes a lot of sense. As the region stabilizes, we can take more people off of food and put them on construction to get things built faster. Is that penalty going away soon? 2 turns. And that'll bring us back up to 50, so that's fine. It's just a little annoying in the meantime. We've got the Stoa here, so we're not necessarily fishing for a particular commerce building. Because we got the Stoa, got the commercial port. Grabbing the furnace so that we can grab the copper workshop later on for like mid combos wouldn't be too bad. Yeah. We haven't found an alternative source for gold yet, and we are going to go into Macedonia, so we're going to leave that one alone. Expert stonecutter is not too bad. That is something we could try to hit in a hill. Let's try to find another marble source. The only alternative, there's ways to move marble around. We'll probably hold off to move marble around instead of building more, trying to prospect more marble. Oh, you don't have a public works? Grab public works. And then how much are we overbuilding? An 126 yield, you need 75. You need 60. Public works is going to be pretty cheap as well at 80. So yeah, we can free up about 120 construction. So there's 60. Feel like another 55, which should be good. Yep. And then extra food will help us grow. Open build slot there. Coin maker would be decent once we were ready to import gold, silver, and copper, but we're not ready to do that yet. So we'll hold off on that. We don't have a place to import frankincense from, so we'll pass on that. But we'll take the brickwork so we can fish for the regional road. There we go. And that'll finish in a turn. We can oh, we don't actually have the range here to import the salt. We need the regional road, which we don't have yet. So we'll pass on that for that reason. This is the last building slot. So I think I want to re-roll to try to hit the smokehouse, ideally, for that last slot. Would also take the farm. And there's the monument. There's a couple things we'd take if it popped up. And then you're going... Okay. So we're just hoping that our army doesn't get destroyed by the far superior numbered Roman one. Let's attempt to reach out to Rome again. We're winning, which means we can't give things to the Romans, but yet the Romans are not willing to give us anything yet. Presumably due to that really large army, let's be fair. War duration, that's going to go down every turn. We own some of their objectives. To be fair, I suspect we own some of their objectives is these two places. They don't want to give us those places their objectives. Oh, and apparently we have objectives on them, which they don't want to give us, so they're really not interested in peace at the moment. That's fair. We do have to recruit local units. So that just means I need a leader somewhere. What do we get over here? Latin provincials, that's not really what we want. What I might do is this guy that we have moving. We'll assign him a general, so in this case the Spendthrift. And then that means we can get some Javelineers with this recruit. Okay. Still a little worried we're going to lose our army, but merging the elephants and the main army together is probably the way to deal with the current problem. Okay, the Romans lay siege to our fort there. That's probably where we want them to be. And yeah, the rebellion happened that we were expecting. Alliance between Sparta and Lemondon. Cool. There's the revolt that we're expecting. And apparently they immediately took the fort. Okay. Which technically means they're revolting against us instead of Rome. Okay, there's the Roman army. It looks like they're marching south. We haven't completely recovered. We're going to be a little bit passive. We're going to take that move. I'm not going to go straight after chasing the Roman army. Well, I guess we don't have... Well, you don't have, of course, you don't have as much movement as the cavalry does, did you? That's fair. It's regenerating. Can you... You can get all the way to the same island where that one's going, so we'll send you over there as well. Good average. Get an objective. Go somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where that objective was. Where is our objectives? Probably been gaining and losing them. Okay, 3 of them are on the Romans. 1 of them is on Macedonia. So I guess we are going to give the Romans a really bad day, because objective. Where's actually the 3rd one? Okay, those 3. Okay. Mover stuff, they're kind of getting into a position to eventually move as well. I'm going to risk this skirmisher going around by sea. Do I send the fleet out? Yeah, let's do a fleet maneuver like that. We basically want to ping-pong between our ports. We don't want to be out of port, we want to be in port. But we want to basically smack any Romans that we can catch between port moves. Okay, so they retreated that way, which isn't good for us. I'm going to skip this because this is going to be a battle we're going to lose. So the Romans retake their territory. That's open terrain, so we could just attack them again. Attack into that location. And you can see Persia is getting a little out of hand, so as soon as we're done with the Romans, that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be mounting up a prepared attack on Persia. Rome is proposing peace. Okay, let's counter-proposal. Oops, no. Counter-proposal. Not reject. You clauses, counter-proposal. I don't want your money. Now, I'm kind of interested in Campania. 32% chance they'll give us Campania. Or, actually, maybe let them keep Campania, take Alpha does. A little bit more likely to give that to us. And that is a walled settlement. It'll be easier to defend if we're not in the region. Yeah. It's presumably the weaker of the 2 settlements. We can clear the numerous cliffs, which is probably one of the reasons they're discounting it. I'm actually surprised they want Campania more than Alphadus, but that works for us. We'll come in here. Technically, I think Colonia will go away, and the numerous cliffs we can clear. So it's not going to be the best of provinces, but it's not going to be the worst of provinces. Okay, we've got these guys together. Can they cross? No, this is apparently not a very good port. Yeah, we are going to be in a better port. Okay. Yeah, let's do something like that. It's still going to take 2 turns. Let's move the fleet up. I'm going to gamble by going the attack here. The Romans are pretty weakened. Italian foot are not the best troops here. They're only medium infantry, so there's lots of medium infantry which roll defense 3. Best they got is the armored hoplite, 5-4. And the citizen hoplites aren't that bad. Going up against Spartan hoplites, which are 6 on the attack. And we will be on the attack in the open terrain with the African war elephants, which are another 7 attack unit. Yeah. So we'll go on the attack. We gotta put pressure on the Romans to get them to surrender in some form. We haven't really had a metal problem. We had a little bit more of a manpower problem than a metal problem. Oh, I probably want to go... And yeah, the health max is 65. I probably want to go theater here for follow-ups. And then we probably actually want to break one of the health buildings. I think it's probably time to get rid of the hospital. Not going to go fishing for the Great Hospital, which would be the reason to hold on to it. So what's the penalty here on disassembly? 3 turns. I think this is costing us... While it's being disassembled, it's costing us 4 loyalty. Okay, we'll just accept that. That'll... Okay, so that drops our health by 5. Yeah, that's acceptable. I can go back on 65, or 60 health from 65 to free up a spot for something else. And we'll still have the 6 health building, so that means we can still be fishing for the stadium, which is more manpower. Nope. Ooh, 2 good choices. We got the commercial port, we got the Odon. I think we're gonna go the Odon for the the legacy. Bit of a shame we can't take both, but we can only take one at a time. Odon's 4 turns in that construction cycle. That's 3. If I can get about 50 more, we can probably get 50 more. We can get it down to 2. I say as it doesn't go down to 2. 3 more to come. Okay. Does that do it? No. Well, if that doesn't do it, let's have you guys all make food. Because you're better at making food there. And you aren't making production. 2 and a 1. It's maybe an argument for going for the military store here. Because this would attribute to lower manpower costs, which is something we're going to struggle with. Assume we have the land expansion here? Yeah. Yeah, we'll take the military store. The lower manpower cost. Strong province. Could do the city guard. Not too worried about the city guard. This is eventually going to need gold, so we probably want to hold off on upgrading that. Don't need the loyalty here yet. Would probably prefer the hospital, but we can definitely take the gymnasium here. Yeah, we'll just take the gymnasium here. Get a little bit more health. And get us to Tier 3 so we can get the sewer upgrade for the sanitation. And if we did get the finish in hospital, it'd be pretty easy to get it upgraded to the health building we want later. And we don't need the olive oil. Though apparently we're far enough away that we are out of import range for olive oil, so it's not saying we can get it from someplace else, but I don't think we need it. Because the import range will get bigger. Lumber with no place to get lumber from. I think we just reroll. It's not a very good set of choices there. Okay. Then... Okay, so these don't have anything to build, which is... Or don't have any empty slots if they aren't building, which is fine. Get you growing a little bit faster. How much do we have to spare? 38. There we go. Get the food going there a little bit there. And we're on the attack in the open terrain, where I think we actually have an advantage against the Romans right now. Now, did the Romans run away? Did the Romans somehow figure out a way to get us on the defensive again? No, for once we are on the attack, they are defending in the open terrain. Rome versus Sparta. Ranged phase. 9v3 with a mineral 7. Granted, they are strong veterans as well, so they've gone mineral 6. But the fact that it is 9v3 is not helping them. So yeah, we're gonna get a few splats here. Though they do win on the flanks. Pursuit, we inflict some more damage on them. I'm gonna have to replace the cav losses. Proposal for transaction. What do you want? I give you some troops. Give you some manpower. You give us metal, you give us money. I'm gonna do a counter proposal. I'm on board with giving you the troops. Don't want to give you the manpower. And they're still willing to accept that. So we'll propose that one. It's like, yeah, no, you can have the troops. Just don't take my men. I need my men. They're proposing peace. Really want to give them peace? Technically, I think we're losing. No. Could spend money to get metal or manpower. I actually am going to spend it to get some men. Well, that is 1,000 for 300 men. We'll do it. Rome is open terrain. We did lose our cavalry screen, so I... tempted not to chase the Romans right now. So badly damaged, though. Oh, there's a... Okay, the Romans responded to us driving them back with probably another emergency levy. I think that's what that is with that heavy infantry. Armored hoplites. Yeah, I think they pulled an emergency levy out there, but... let's not charge face first into that emergency levy. Let's pull back. We should be able to escape if they don't immediately go on the attack. Oh yeah, we can get you guys to join up over there. That looks good. How actually goes our troop count? We've got 5 hoplites, 1 paradoki. I want another hoplite, and arguably another paroki. Paroki. And somewhat I'm going to have to build more warships, but we'll hold on for those. Those are pretty manpower expensive as well. Open slot. Do you have something decent to pull? Yeah, that's some decent stuff. That's not really the health building I want. Maybe the health building I take. Yeah. One slot, one slot. We got the Odin finishing next turn. Could do an iron mine that gives more metal coming in. I'm definitely on board with that. If for no other reason, then I can eventually trade that away for manpower or money. Regional road. Definitely the regional road. It's tempting as it go the temple. But no, the regional road. How short are we on getting these buildings finished? A lot. We're a lot short. You're probably going to be 2 turns. You're probably going to be 2 turns. Oh, if I could scrounge up another 30 construction, you'd be a turn. Like 3 here? Not enough. Yeah, okay, so we'll get the Iron Mine done in a turn. We got the Odin back down to 3 turns. Assuming we've already put 1 turn into it, right? So it's 3 from when we started. I can take guys off of food and get these building faster. Probably should have done that last turn. Yeah. You're done, you're done. The individual provinces here. Try to improve that well quicker. Food's fine there. Food's fine there. In fact, I'll probably move more guys over for infrastructure. To be fair, a lot of these guys are italic. At some point, we're going to want to convert them so the cult side doesn't actually make isn't a bad choice. Okay. Next turn, we should hear what the Roman response is to our request. Perfectly reasonable request of give me that location. Basically, we're going to trade these 2. If they accept. And Hellenic Games. We've already got these guys on side. Even though we can see that the Persians are trying to split us up. Let's try to move on to those guys. I don't see a change in the border, so I think the Romans said no. Necessities, reduce decadence. Let's do a major grant of citizenship. Was it this turn, or did we get the response? We did get told no. Rome told us, or our envoys have returned, told us Rome rejected the offer. Okay. Possibly due to them recruiting up new troops. That's my immediate guess. They are still willing to accept peace. Neutral peace. Not really what I want. Discard that. Okay, we're gonna get the Spartan fleet to go to port. We'll actually go all the way back to port in Sparta. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be 2 turns to get back out. The front, kind of accept that's the case. We'll merge these two armies. We'll advance towards the hills here. We don't see the Roman army yet. Which actually tells us something. It means they're not here anymore. Because the province would scout the neighbor. That means the Roman army is probably here or here. We're going to go here. I don't think they're going to be able to zoom into there. They're probably going to zoom to our ally if they do something like that. Toss up between the monument and the smokehouse. I'm going to skip the monument because I don't need the culture right now. Smokehouse will help with growth. Move commercial port. Extra trade range is always nice. And it looks like everything's going to build this turn. Yeah. Got open slots over here. This is the world settlement, so we're not going to bother with the Strapodon. It may make sense really far down the line once we got weapons distributed to put these in places even that are rolled for that +5 manpower, but until we got the walls, nah. Furnace, that would allow us to start fishing for a copper importer. This is one of the few ways to import drugs. And this is definitely a good-ish place to do it, because we're just missing the honey and the dates. But without drugs, it's not good enough. And we got no place to import the drugs from yet. So I'm going to skip on that. Sort of the argument down here at the Basilica. Yeah, it's pretty good. You have a place to get frankincense from. Which we don't. So this is going to be a reroll situation. We're probably not going to have time to get the 0-slot cult site alternative and get it leveled, so we'll probably just do the normal cult site here. So we can upgrade it to the Thesaurus. No, the Thassalon Temple. So we can upgrade it to the Thassalon Temple. I probably don't need this much construction now, do I? No, we need about that much. Okay, so you're done, you're done, you're done with being modified. Okay. And again, we do have some construction going on here, but none of it's done per se. I suppose if I just needed some more medium infantry, I could do recruit local. We're not going to do that. We are going to hit this guy here moving with recruit local. We do the movement but defense penalty, because hopefully you're not going to run into troops in that movement. Then we're going to do recruit local. Actually, I'm going to have you move to there. Hopefully you're not going to run into any stuff. Yeah. And the war with Rome continues. The war keeping us from doing what we should be doing, which is fighting the Persians, continues. We found the Illyrican Navy, and I don't think this is a battle we're actually going to win. Nope. Oh, actually, we technically won the fight, but it was not the resounding sort of victories I usually like on the sea. Circumstantially, we ended up getting their fleet completely destroyed, but we lost more boats than I would like. Oh, and the Romans just happened to find our guys crossing. Well, there goes our reinforcements. Buy, sell, displace slaves, displace some slaves. Spend metal, which we don't have. Okay, we'll ignore that one for the moment. So there is the fairly large and somewhat scary Roman army. Granted, right now they've got hoplites, armored hoplites in the mountains. It's not the best place for them. They get reduced down to 2 there. Heavy infantry, same thing. So if we were to attack up there, we'd probably stand up pretty decent because it's like 2s and 3s. We'd be rocking it up with 4s. The elephants would be absolutely worthless, though. Did that. Granted, the front line would be small if the elephants wouldn't be involved. What's the state of potential peace with the Romans? They've actually calmed down a lot. 100%. Clauses war score. Your ruler negotiates with talent. Allies, vassals. Relative combat power. We're overstretched. I think they're currently getting a malice because they've got heavy infantry in mountains. For example, that's what's going on here. So yeah, give me the thing I occupy. I would really like Umbria. Will you give that to me? No. I'm actually better off asking the plains over Umbria. Okay, we'll leave you with the... We'll try to take Aphodus. 40% chance of peace if they accept that. Let's propose that. We still got basically 2 turns of fighting before that kicks in. You're still pretty walled. Let's go ahead and we'll go move over there. I don't know where the Romans are going to go. Hopefully we end up as the attacker because we got better attacking capacity than they do instead of the defender. Our fleet's in port. Arguably, if I'm going to try to do more transport across, I need to build more fleet. How much can I afford? Like 5 ships. I can afford 5 ships. And that's from an upkeep standpoint, not a recruitment standpoint. I could actually technically recruit more than that. But then we'd be on borrowed time with the manpower supply. Ooh, the upgraded commercial port. I think that is a yes. 1 extra trade range. Upgrade to the upgrade the gymnasium to the stadium. This does cost us money, but we're basically turning 13 money into 3 manpower. So yeah, I'm on board with that. What a reason I'm back up at 65. I was supposed to be down at 60 after breaking the... Oh, because the breaking the hospital is downloaded division house. Which I could break again. Could disassemble you. Let's do you. That drops us back down to 60, yeah. And the stadium here is enough of an upgrade. We'll be back up at 65 right away, as soon as it's done. So we're going from an 8 to a 12, which is a +4 bonus. So we'll be at 64 out of 65, which is perfect. It's just perfect. Especially if we end up, we're going to be building more of these, and if we build another one of these, then we'll be overcapped again. Regional road. We've already got the regional road here. We could be fishing for the Stoa. Must be the Stoa needs one of the bonus resources in the province already for it to show up, because it's not in that list. Army provisioner. Manpower and equipment cost. Maybe I should do that. To be fair, our main problem is actually manpower upkeep, not manpower per se, because we're finding creative ways to get more manpower. But it doesn't really help with the upkeep. Although that is a 0 slot, so other than it costing us money, this is good. And it'll import weapons, which is definitely something we're down for. Yeah, so let's army provision over the weapons. Which actually, that will give us more manpower. Yes. Plans, unexpected plans that are coming together here. You're doing things, you're doing things, you're doing things, okay. You've got an open slot. More conversion wouldn't be too bad. Because that would help convert the italic citizens over, reducing the unrest or raising their productivity. Like, in the long run, that's probably not the temple building we want, but what we'll probably do, this will probably be one of the places we go to a major temple. Don't always go to a major temple, but when I do, they're usually the places where they're not the coastal ones. And that would be a place we could go coastal, but right now we actually kind of want the conversion. Okay. Defenses are holding, defenses are holding, defenses are holding. Leader's about to change. Wasn't that you saying the general just died of old age? Well, I suppose that might have been the general that was sailing. That's fair. Okay, you. If we end up with a recruit local, we'll go ahead and do another recruit local. No. Okay. Let's cycle the turn. We'll see how Romans respond. They deploy. And we end up on the we end up on the attack. That's where we wanted to be. We're not getting a lot of rolls, but we have much better attacking troops. Much better minimum rolls. 9v2 with a minimum roll of 7. Hopefully that's enough to compensate for the fact they're getting 2 rolls. And it is. They won on the flanks. Arguably, we've won in the center. We've lost most of our elephants, which is a bit of a sad day. And the end in a draw. So once again, another engagement. Once again, we're on the attack again. Our center is doing work. Our flanks are having a bit of a day, so that goes into a draw again. And at that point, the Romans have actually gotten past us. Managed to just push through, taking losses the whole way, which wasn't great. Okay, well, with all the losses we took, we've got a lot more manpower. Alright, Spartan fleet. The fleet's merged. Yeah, let's move you over to there, where we got a bit of better capacity to jump. The siege, in theory, will be quick. Do I attempt to jump them again? The open plain, so we're going to run into the problem. We don't have enough flankers. So their cav's going to have field day. Whoever's on the sad flanks. We have the peace deal pending. We don't know what the probability of its success is going to be. So I should assume that we do not have success. It's the safest way to handle that. Let's try to recruit replacements. That's the replacements for the cavalry. Did lose an archer, so I should recruit an archer. It's probably not going to show up in any reasonable amount of time. You can only get helots up here, which for emergency sort of kind of cannon fodder will work. So we'll grab a couple of them. Yes, grabbing a couple of them is like recruiting half the countryside. To disregard my excessive recruitment here. Could grab some of the allied Paradoki. Could just grab another Spartan hoplite at this point. Yeah, let's splurge, grab an extra Spartan hoplite. And then all that needs is somehow find a way to converge with the army. So it's going to build. It's going to take like a turn or two to get over there. So we'll know what the answer is by the time all that merges with the main army. Building. We're not going to take steps to make it faster. That's building. Its provinces over here doing what they can. Definitely on board with grabbing a training grounds over there. Temple's doing its thing. Okay. Let's pass a turn and find out what the results are. Oh, the Romans give me peace. Okay, so our friend might be about to have a bad day. Because we're not supporting him against the Romans anymore, but... Send a peace deal. Save for later. You're proposing a deal. What's your deal? Well, first of all, I don't have 100 manpower to give you, so that's just a bad deal. So we're gonna counter proposal. See, even the moment I immediately counter proposal and the manpower disappears because I can't give it to them. Become my client state. This is how I save you from the Romans. Here we go. So if they accept that counter-proposal, as long as they haven't been destroyed... Numerous warriors and armed populace from Britannum are preparing a revolt. Okay, we can put that down. Like the tax increase, or tax cost. So... Animals, okay. We're gonna split you off. So you're gonna go... running off down there. I'm not sure if you can get there in time. gonna merge all the hoplites up. We're actually gonna have you go merge up. We're gonna leave the one elephant and all the helots in the Roman area for safekeeping. Got a 15, a 13, a 9, and 8. This probably does want to be our provincial capital, so we make the provincial capital. Could go furnace here. Aqueduct's actually not too bad, with it being a 2 food bonus as well. We'll do the aqueduct. We have walls here, so we're not going to bother with the Strapodon. Port's tempting. Hospital's tempting. I'll take the hospital. You're already working on that. This is a good situation for prospector resources. Prospect the plane. Oh, I only had the one prospect. Every once in a while, because as new ones come in, they bump other ones off. I don't suppose. No places to do bolster. Can't federate. Okay. So we'll try to merge our troops up down there. Our fleet is together. Our fleet probably wants to be bigger. We are going to be trying to be defending frontage 16 areas. Mostly from the enemy, so it would be decent to get up to 16. But we're not going to afford that right now. We've got a hoplite to add to our hoplite. We got a archer. So let's move the archer over to you. Let's move the cav over to you. We'll actually send you over to Greece so that we can use you to displace some of the helots. We've raised his emergency backline. I mainly emerged them as emergency backline for dealing with open terrain, the plains over here in Rome. And they're not really good for that job either. Just they're something I could recruit in area, in theater. Orange land. Okay. Slave market, we already did an assignment there. I could turn money into like manpower or metal. I'll actually turn it into some manpower. It's a bit expensive to get manpower that way. Open building slot. The road upgrade. And because we have the furnace, you can see in the list here, Copperworks. Copperworks is now on the list. We probably want to import copper before we start doing things like the mint and the coin maker. Regional road gets priority. Oops, not the one I was looking for. Could do the wall upgrade. That's one way to do a reroll. Yeah, we'll do the wall upgrade as a... And here, the smokehouse is not a bad choice. Get some food, get some health, help the region grow a little bit faster. It is nice that we do have that 3% global health from the Escalon here. Next turn, we'll have that stadium down, and the fishing house will be cleared out. So this will continue building next turn. Well, I suppose we're fishing for loyalty at this point. Because the loyalty is getting a little high, a little low here. Okay, I'm gonna look at the time. We're actually running the part a little bit long. I want to see how the revolt over here is handled. We're expecting to be a revolt. I am hoping the revolt does not immediately start with a fort, so we'll have a little bit of problems that way. No, it did not start with a fort. Okay, so because we had guys in the fort, the place is under siege, which is good. It means the Roman army, or our main army will arrive and stomp the revolt. Yeah, so our poor, underdeveloped garrison would be pretty screwed if reinforcements weren't coming to save it, but there's inbound reinforcements which will handily smash that combat stack. Forge the land. New feast day of the calendar. Tensions of rival Athena are leading to drop productivity. I think it's them losing productivity. There. Moving slaves, increased worker labor, minor taxes. Yeah, so I don't see any bad events. Bad province modifier, so I assume it's just they got hit with the bad modifier because they're weaker than us. Urban improvement. And then we got 2 slots here. Commerce is tempting, but it's not really what we want. We probably want the Stoa. Should probably go for the loyalty building. And something right into a courthouse line is probably pretty good too. So we'll go that building. That means we're overbuilding right now, over constructing, yeah. How much does the Mater Harbor need? Yeah, we need like 60 positive. Should be enough. Yep. In fact, we could probably run it even lower because we're running on the stockpiled. Want the copper works here first, and or the mint or something else, so we're going to hold off the coin maker. Theater is pretty good because that gives us access to one of the Greek buildings. Smokehouses are going to be good there. We did manage to make this province. Open building slot there. We're not going to go for slave houses over here. We will try to fish for hospitals, though. Okay. That's maximizing construction, which is reasonably good. I will play out the end turn here so we can see how our guys deal with the barbarians. I'm not expecting them, well, deal with the revolting nation here. I don't expect them to have a problem. And then let's get everyone back over into eastern Greece so we can go poke the Persians. I suppose we'll also see if our friends take the protectorate status to protect them against the Romans. Looks like the answer to that is, well, maybe yes. Yes, they did accept. I can tell because they're client state of Rome in that. Yeah, that went well. Complete destruction of the revolting army. Our friend has become our client state, protecting them from Rome. We are still a glorious, stable monarchy, and we just need to go fight the Persians. Oh, we don't have enough money. We spend a lot of money. That's fair. Okay, revolt dealt with. I'm gonna go ahead and give these guys a sort of longish range move order to get to join up with those guys. We'll leave the fleet in Sparta. We'll leave these guys here, but I'm gonna go ahead and disband some of the Helots. Split you off. Disband you. And I'm actually going to put you in that fort. I'm going to go for more loyalty. Pleasure House is not the way I want to go on loyalty. The metal reduction coming from the arsenal here is tempting. Mainly affect us when we're building the Spartan hoplites, because they cost 16 metal, so 35% metal off of them is like 5 metal a pop. It's not letting us build anything because we don't have the money for them right now, but so that would be a little bit tempting to go that way. That would also allow us to fish for the Great Arsenal here. We've got all our health buildings, so we're not going to go for the Physician House at this point. That's not the culture building we want. That's not really the commerce building we want. Fishing for the Stoa right now. Got enough infrastructure buildings to get what we really want. So at the end of the day, we could at some point upgrade the regional road. That requires one more commerce building, which really wants to be the Stoa. There's a couple other ones I'd accept if we had instead, like I'd take the furnace or the commercial port. So yeah, probably as a reroll option. Okay, this is going to cost us 5 equipment, so it's going to make it a little bit harder to build stuff. It's going to cost us 15 money a turn, which that's what's hurting there. One of the reasons I've been holding off grabbing the arsenal. Grab it. Oh, and apparently... Are you saying I can import it from Macedonia? I've got it locally. We're upgrading the building that we can make weapons from. So we don't have to import from Macedonia. We need Macedonian weapons. We have Spartan-made weapons. Archer range wouldn't be too bad of a choice. Not necessarily what we're rushing for. Yeah, I think we'll go Architect here. And sanitation. Should put the food guys back on infrastructure production. At least to the degree that they can. Yeah, I'm not going to take the our farm specialized place. I'm not going to take the people over yet. Because they're going to get good bonus off the 25% food bonus here, buying on food. And we're at breakpoints where it's going to be really hard to get any faster than we're currently going. Most of these builds. That's not the health building we want. Could do that infrastructure building, but I think we're going to pass. Don't really need that blacksmith. Could do the barracks. You can see the training, it's not saying anything about medium infantry. The barracks for us is kind of not particularly useful, other than the fact that it gives us some manpower. We are Spartans after all. we don't rely on the locals to provide troops. Yeah, training grounds is providing some XP bonus, so we did recruit troops here. We do recruit cavalry here, for example. So we did the barracks, that up from 5 to 10. Also, I think it does a provincial 10% more manpower. Actually, that would probably be worth doing, specifically for that manpower. They'll offset the national manpower to minus 75. And then otherwise, we're kind of, with the military buildings, we're fishing for the military academy. That's the other military building we're fishing for. Well, that's the rest of them. We can just take it or leave it. We're not really that worried about. Done. Okay, we got one choice there. Irrigation system. Do we want to take the food penalty to get the irrigation system? Because this is where this is, I think the answer is actually yes. So it'd be the irrigation system that we'd find 2 food buildings really quickly so we can then roll for the canal. And then if people like the Romans up here want some papyrus, they can buy our papyrus. Which is something the Romans don't have great access to otherwise until they get a canal in the area. Not going to be able to bolster colonies because we don't have any places that are small enough versus next to barbarians. Not a war, so most of these don't really work. May make sense to do like a draft Paradoki at some point, but okay, so with that, I think this is where we're going to go ahead and end this part in this recording session. I haven't been the best at keeping these parts short, but that's because it's been somewhat engaging for me. If you're watching YouTube, there likely will be a part up tomorrow. That's going to be a little bit dependent on future me recording on time. Assuming future me has recorded on time, the previous part should have already been streamed on Twitch. So if you can't wait to the part coming up tomorrow, you can probably think over to the Twitch VODs and watch it over there. But it should be up and recorded by tomorrow, assuming nothing unusual happens. If you're watching on Twitch, the upcoming stream schedule is such that tomorrow will be Shadow Empire. There's some potential we're going to win. We might not. We're not going to lose. It's just, do we get the last like 5% of victory score or whatever to win? The day after that will be Victoria 3. Someone on YouTube requested I do a pressure run, so we're doing a pressure run. The day after that would normally have been the Long Dark stream, but stuff happened. Putting that on hiatus until we make a decision on how we're going to proceed with that. The answer might be we don't. Depends upon whether or not anyone leaves any comments on how I should proceed. But as a replacement to that, I'm thinking I'm doing Terra Invicta. Doing another swing at Terra Invicta. So that might be what's that day. I think that's what I've got scheduled for that day, but things may change. I'll change my mind. And then the day after that will be the return to this, where hopefully we move on dealing with Persia. We should reasonably be able to suppress the Athenians using the navy once we've got our land forces on ashore. I suppose that actually means I should probably bring the elephants and stuff over because they'll do pretty well in the plains over here. Most of it, except for the little bit of plains here close to the front, is hills. I'm going to have to avoid the mountains. Well, I say avoid the mountains. If I go into the mountains, I'm going to basically go into the mountains and try to get right out of it right away. Because we don't want to fight the don't want to fight the Persians in the mountains. But Persia's pretty big. I think they have a pretty big army. But as has been the case the entire game, they've been at war with, like, everyone. Egypt, Byzantine, Saba, Arabia. They've got a civil war that we were looking at. They got a couple client states, which are probably the only people they aren't at war with. They've got a couple cooperation, so it's not all bad for them. But yeah, they're definitely facing a multi-front war. We're hoping to basically come in here, Probably not going to go super ham. It's going to be really hard to take over all of Persia, which means this will probably end it in a negotiated settlement. There are a couple places that I would like to take over in the negotiated settlement. We'd like the Temple of Athens here, Temple Artemis here. Take the legitimacy of that legacy. Honestly, there isn't actually a lot of good stuff over here. Gotta be careful where I pick. Like 3 is not very good, 4 is not very good, 2 is not very good. There's some decent ones in here, like there's a 14, there's a 10, there's a 9, right? We do probably want the west coast here. That's pretty good. We can get a place down next to here. We do also probably want to get to, if we can, get into Mesopotamia, but that's a pretty big ask to take a territorial bridge all the way down there. Especially because there's some. Well, actually, this is kind of the Fertile Crescent, right? If we could, we'd like to take the Fertile Crescent from them. That's probably asking for too much. But in the Fertile Crescent, there are a couple of wonders. There's the Ishtar Gate here. Again, legacy. Hanging Gardens. Again, legacy. There's the Tower of Babel. Again, legacy. We'd like to get those wonders. Partially to deny them the wonders, but also to give us the wonders. And then maybe, usually I'm trying to build provinces when I can, when I take over places. There's also the river in Temple Solomon over there. One thing we're going to want to do, just to weaken Persia as much as possible, is weirdly, we're not necessarily out for provinces. We're out to deny them provinces. Because they have the Strafi mechanic, which gives them 2 free unit support per province. So if we can deny them provinces by like taking half a province, that means they're going to have to pay for 2 more army, or 2 more units for each one. Which will help slow their roll. It's also going to take manpower away from them. It's going to take equipment away from them. If they've got the bonuses on those palaces, it takes some culture away from them. It's okay, it's taking some decadence away from them, but... Okay, so this would not be one where you maybe don't want to take this one away from them, because they're getting no culture here, so they're getting decadence, so it's actually making them weaker. But taking the free unit support away from them is also still nice. And obviously take a province away from them, then it doubles the decadence per nation size per turn. Right, so that's one advantage we got from being fairly small, is our decadence per nation size is pretty low. And right now everything we have is in a province, so everything is halved. Right, so if we didn't have the halving, it would be up around 7.7. They're quite big, they're up around 1.9. And that's... Is that in a province? I know some of these places there. Yeah, 1.9 in a province. So if we can find a place where they're presumably not in a province. Yeah. So if they don't have a province, it's 3.8. So denying them provinces is probably going to be the way to go, both to raise their decadence and to lower their loyalty, lower their troop count. So we're not necessarily out to take everything from Persia, but we want the legacy, we want to deny them culture, we want to deny them decadence reduction, that sort of stuff. We want to get to war with Persia. And of course, we've been in this whole situation against Rome that's been distracting us. Objective-wise, we do have an objective on Macedonia. We have an objective on Rome that isn't going to go away. Specifically on Rome, the city of Rome, basically. The other 2 are going to go away if we leave the Romans alone. But the one on Rome won't. But yeah, before I get more distracted, I've given you the upcoming schedule, given you sort of the highlights of what's going to be coming up in the run. This is where we're going to go ahead and end the recording and end the stream. So I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.